Today we're going to have fun in this studio with a fashion shoot based on the Pantone color of the year, Illuminating Yellow. Hey everybody, Lindsay Adler here, and every year when Pantone announces the color of the year, I set straight away to doing a fashion shoot. I love when people are searching for the keywords of the color of the year and they find my imagery. Now, as Pantone selects these colors, it is symbolic. It's meant to be symbolic of the emotion for the upcoming year, but also it's meant to represent the trends that you're going to see. You're going to see this color in graphic design, interior design, you're going to see it in fashion design. And so I wanted to get a little piece of that action and be part of the trend. Now originally when I was searching for yellow and I was looking for inspiration, I came across a lot of yellow flowers, and that's actually what sparked the inspiration for this shoot. Now, while at times I will do DIY projects, I actually knew just the person to help me out with this. My hairstylist, Lynn, is so good at all of these arts and crafts projects. So I had purchased Savage Universal Canary background because it was closest to the Pantone color of the year. I cut off a piece of that background and then asked him if he could make me a flower hat. And this is what he came up with, and I love it. Now we actually have it attached to her head, hanging on a C-stand arm so that it doesn't put any weight on her. Now originally, when I was thinking of this shot, I wanted to just create a beauty image, but it didn't really have the impact, the wow, and the drama that I was going for. And so I collaborated with my wardrobe stylist and he came up with this incredible gown. So I have the amazing headpiece, the wow gown, that bright color of the background, and fundamentally, it's giving me a monochromatic image. Monochromatic, I used to think meant desaturated, but what it means is every color is in one hue. So everything in this image is yellow, which perfectly fits my style. Yellow on yellow on yellow, and it just really pops with drama. But from there, it's time to bring the image to life using light. So for this lighting setup, I used 3 strobes, 1 main light and 2 background lights. Let me take you through each of those individually. Now first off, I started with my main light. This is a large umbrella with diffusion, giving me a soft light source. Now because there is so much to light in this scene, I didn't want to have smaller or more restricted light sources. I wanted something that would give me light I needed across the subject. After adding the umbrella with diffusion, I thought that the background wasn't quite the right tone. It was a little bit too dark because the light was falling off so much. And that meant I needed to add 2 umbrellas, and these are small white umbrellas, one on either side of the frame, which allows me to control the lightness or darkness of the background. Now when I began this shot, I actually started with the umbrella, creating relatively flat light on my subject. Because I was thinking yellow, I wanted upbeat and bright and glowing, but it wasn't giving me enough shape. The headpiece, the dress, I felt like they were looking kind of flat. So by bringing my main light off to the side, I put it almost in a short light position. That created a lot of shadows and sculpting. So if you look at the headpiece and you look at the dress, I now have a lot more dimension and a lot more texture. Typically when I teach photography, I tell people how they can work around different restrictions they have, restrictions in gear or the size of their studio. But to be honest, this particular shot needed a lot of space. First of all, we had a long gown, but it was a little bit too pooling at the bottom, even when she was wearing heels. So what we did is we actually stood her on an apple box to elevate her, which gave really beautiful long lines, made the dress look really full. And then once we put that flower on top of her head, it made her impossibly tall. This would be incredibly difficult and near impossible to shoot in a space with short ceilings. So this is one of those instances where being able to work in a big studio space was super helpful. Now since we're talking about height, one of the ways that you can actually fit your subject better onto the background is to use a longer lens. A longer lens compresses distance. If let's say I was trying to fit her in the scene and I used a wider lens and got up close, it would actually exaggerate the difference between the foreground and background, and her head would hang off of the background. So that's why for this shoot, I selected a Canon EOS R5 and a Canon RF 24-105 lens. It allowed me to back up far away from my subject and then use a longer focal length in order to zoom in and compress the scene so that she would fit on the background. All right, so once I had the scene and the color and the light, well then it's time for the pose and the expression. My thought process was that by having the subject place her hands at different levels, it would actually create interesting leading lines to allow the viewer's eye to explore the frame. One of the things I love about my job is the ability to collaborate with a fantastic team and come up with a concept that we bring to life. So I love the fact that I can put something amazing in front of my camera like this, and I feel like I can't get it wrong. I'm inspired by the moment. So since I'm feeling that inspiration, let's get the shot. Looking at these shots, these images are so much my style. They have that wow, they have that impact, clean, bold, graphic, and colorful. Now, if you'd like to see the gear used in the making of these images, be sure to check out the links in the description below or visit adorama.com. And of course, I have so much fun creating these videos. I'm always getting creative and always trying to share. So if you want to see more of this, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.